Welcome to the end of day review for Friday, the 29th of March 2024. Starting off with the economic calendar, there was a couple of red folder news events for the USD. I just want to add GBP and Euro to this list. For some reason, it's not showing. But as you can see, there was quite a few bank holidays in Europe and the UK. So from that perspective, what I did decide is because there was Powell speaking towards the end of the New York London cross, I decided that I won't trade the New York session because I don't know what's going to be said here, and price might just range for a long time until he speaks, and then it might get a whole bunch of momentum, and I don't know what he may say. So from that perspective, I decided I'm not trading in the New York session, and if I get into any London-based trades, I'll close them at the time of he's starting his speech at 5:30. So having said all of that, let's move on to GBPUSD and understand the market from this perspective. From a daily bias perspective, there isn't any three consecutive bullish or bearish candles, and thus we move on to the 4H to understand the technical analysis narrative from this front. And as you understand, as I've been saying for quite some time now, we've been in an unconfirmed market trend because we recently were in a bearish market trend, and when we changed the character, that put us in an unconfirmed state, at least until we break structure with the body break to then validate that the bullish leg is in effect. However, having said that, because we're operating under unconfirmed premise, we require three elements. The first being a 4HOB to then support either longing or shorting. And then we need a substructure low or a substructure high that has been validated. And by validated, I simply mean there's been a pullback, evidence of a pullback, and then a candle body break. Well, not really a candle body break. If you consider this substructure low, then you have a couple of candles pulling back, which then validates this. And then obviously we got the high, substructure high and substructure low. There are two there are two 4HOBs that we are currently reacting off. The one is associated with the protein unconfirmed leg, the other is associated with the protein previously confirmed primary leg, and thus I've labeled this 4HOB primary and this 4HOB protein unconfirmed, both of which haven't achieved their targets, and as a result of that we have reasons to trade both directions. We go to the 5 minute. What you can see here is that we created a London low of the day that invalidates trading because I don't trade that invalidates longs because I don't trade based on London session lows or highs. And then we got a New York high of the day, but like I said, I wasn't trading in New York. So that covers GBP USD. Then we can move on to Euro USD as soon as it loads. Again, starting on the daily, we got three consecutive bearish candle closures up to Thursday. That means that on Friday, we're expecting a bullish candle closure, and that's precisely what we got. If we move on to the 4 hour, we can, it's gotten slightly simpler in terms of the legs. There's no longer a secondary leg, if you recall from my um, previous end of day reviews. But essentially, what is important here is we're in a similar situation. We're in an unconfirmed state because we recently had a market structure change of character, and thus, since we didn't have the break of structure right here, we can't confirm that we're in a bearish leg. So we got the protein unconfirmed leg as such. We then have a primary protein previously confirmed leg. We also have a primary protein unconfirmed leg that has been created as a result of a reaction to the protein unconfirmed 4HOB, and that was extended on Thursday, and thus for that reason we we have a few options. Again, we need the three elements that I mentioned in GBPUSD to actually take a trade. So we're currently reacting to this primary OB associated with the protein previously confirmed primary leg, and we reacted to it. We do have a validated substructure high situated right here, which we can target. We don't have the validation point right here, but we do have reasons to long. Towards the substructure target. I was considering if there was going to be a body break of this level, then this voyage OB would have been validated, but it wasn't. So there was only reasons to long because of the daily bias, and then obviously we got narrative support, and I think EU was probably the best position to trade. And from that perspective, Whilst we did create a Frankfurt low of the day, unfortunately price just didn't come back to our 1 to 3 objective of achieving 70% of the ADR by this point, which you could see we probably would have gotten quite close. But because price didn't pull back after validating the Frankfurt range, which I can draw on right here. So Frankfurt range has been drawn on. As you can see, we took it out right here, but once we took it out, we never came back. And entering here is too far or too big of a stop loss to make sense. So from that perspective, there wasn't any trades, even though we had everything lined up quite nicely. Unfortunately, price just didn't pull back. And then in the New York session again, I wasn't trading it because Powell was speaking quite late in the end. So that was Euro USD. And then lastly, if we move on to USD CAD, which if you saw my London Outlook, you'd know that I didn't actually trade it. And that was quite simply for the fact that we had conflicting biases from a daily perspective. We had 3 consecutive bearish candles, and we can probably see that Friday was also a bearish sort of doji candle, but coming into Friday we had 4 consecutive bearish candles indicating that we should long for the day. And then if we move on to the 4H, what we do have here is a confirmed bearish market trend, numerous interactions with the extreme OB of the leg, and we also had the pullback phase, OB failure validating the pro-trend primary leg, supporting short. So the 4H is telling us to short, but the daily is telling us to long. Even if it's short term, there's no backing for longs, and for that reason I didn't take any USD CAD trades. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of day review. What I do want to say is I'm taking a 2 week break away from the charts just to reset. I've been at this for quite a long time now. For I think I've done end of day reviews and outlooks from towards the end of November. So it's almost 4 months now, and I think a break is in order. So from that perspective, I won't be posting anything for the next 2 weeks, and we'll start again with the outlooks from the 15th of April 2024. Other than that, I hope you have a good trading month while I'm away. And yeah, other than that, have a good day.